Good evening, everyone. You're very welcome as we come together to start a new show tonight on Bridges of Light. I would like to just go through the ritual. I go through saying the greetings very badly. Ciao, bonjour, and welcome to you all. Hi, Sonia. You're always there on the button. I'm about a minute late, I think, tonight. So just running around. And I suppose we get time. And don't we think we have a lot of time and then we waste it and all that goes with that. But it's human nature. I'll just lower this a bit. Okay, this evening we are going to... Hi Leslie and Mariella. This evening we're going to talk about healing. And you may be sick listening to me about healing, but it's something that's an ongoing need for in ourselves, in our journey. Because if we avoid it, we tend to not recognise what's happening to us. And no matter how we do, life throws up different challenges. And when it throws up a challenge, it can be very difficult to actually realise that you need to take time out for you, because it's the way we are, the way we're made is to keep going, going, going. And that's the difficult part, because we do keep going. And on the path of keeping going, we forget. Hi Helen, Sylvia. We forget. I always think of what our spirit is like. If you equate our bodies to be like a bag of lovely sweets, beautiful, most delicious sweets you could think of, and you give the sweets out of the bag, and all of a sudden there's an empty sweet bag. All the pictures of what's lovely inside is on that sweet bag cover. But we've used it all up. There's none left. And I feel that that's often what we do with ourselves. We keep using until there's nothing left. And this is where healing, by recognising our need to replenish the batteries, that we need to look at what it is in our lives that we're doing, that we're actually doing sometimes against our will. Yes, I know we can be at times not have choice, but there's a choice in the way and how we approach doing things that are necessary to do, despite whether we enjoy doing it or not. But healing comes in so many different ways. I'm after spending an afternoon with a very good friend. We're friends since we were 12 years old. Well, we met when we were 12 years old, and we had different lives. We went different pathways in different parts of the world. But we came back together. And it was just lovely to sit and talk. Pure useless conversation, really. But yet and all, the use of that conversation was about building that energy and allowing ourselves to steer away from what's happening at this present moment in time in our lives. And that's what healing is. That's why sometimes when you spend time with a good friend, you feel the batteries have been recharged. Isn't it lovely? We have that, and it's free. You don't have to pay a fortune. You don't have to go on a course. You don't have to do anything but be yourself within that minute. And when we do that, it's like the weight that we bore before we met is lifted. Sylvia, you can get the chance and send healing to my 4 kids. We will. Sylvia, we will. The meditation this evening, I think you'll like it. And we put that intention in at that time, Sylvia. Janet, how are you? Lovely to see you from the other side of the world. Aurora, and lovely to see you here too. So when we have the healing, when we access healing, it changes our auric energy, and it's more or less like cleansing the auric energy. So all of a sudden, rather than having all the clouds that we carry through stress, through burdens, through all of these things, all of a sudden you find that it's lightened. It's so beautiful. And yeah, Leslie, yes, it's you know, it's common sense, but how often do we tell ourselves common sense? We don't. And Janet, I like your comment. Yeah, you're getting up now, and we're getting ready for the bed. Yeah, so healing. Once we talk spiritual healing, we talk about faith healing. That's not what I'm here to talk about, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion on healing. It's something that can be very touchy with some people, and that's fine, because that's where you're coming from, and I have no problem with that. I'm talking about your journey. I'm talking about my journey. I'm talking about how we manage to work with the energy that we have to work with healing. There is none of us exempt, none of us that can turn around and say we don't need healing. Even in the happiest day you are, is a day that you need healing. It's something where we have something sitting there, and rather than let it wait to boil up, it's far better to go in and let it be calmed down. We don't forget. Healing doesn't enable us to forget situations, and that's something that you know, there is a misconception that it's going to take something away. That's not it. What healing does, it lines our path with the ability to keep going. I've said to you before that I trained in counselling, and when I was going into counselling training, my idea was that I was going to help people. And after 3.5 years of training, I found out I can't help anyone. I can only help myself. But I can be there for someone to help themselves on the path. That's the difference. That you can't take away someone's responsibility for being on the path they're on. But you can enable them to be able to see light at different times, and that light can show them where you have. Sorry, I just have to realise, and my phone is not switched off. That's it. It enables you to be in a situation where, rather than looking through the fog, what you're doing is you're able to see the difference in what you can do without causing yourself all the stress and hardship. We have a number of healers here this evening, and that's what will be nice, Sylvia, is that we'll be able to access that healing power that's within this group. And healing is something that when you get into the right space, you're able to be there for the person. It's like lifting the phone and ringing someone that may be quite lonely, or maybe going through different traumas in their lives. That's a healing energy. And I'll take that a step further. What is it that brings you to make that phone call? or to stop and have a chat with someone that you meet on the street, or to go round to someone's home. I know we're limited at the moment, but beyond that, don't think within the confines of where we are now. You'll hear me talking about our guides. Our guides are very instrumental in what we do. And you mightn't think it at times, but they're telling you to go here or go there. They will lay the ground for you. And it is when you're inspired to go to see someone or ring someone, just say a nice thank you. Just as simple as that. A thank you is a sign of gratitude. So what that does for your energy, the guide's not waiting on that thank you, but what it does for you, it enhances your energy because you're appreciating that influence and that inspiration. So we're so simple behind all the complexities that we have. Yes, Janet, and that's what I say, and I know you're healing energy, and that's what I say, we have a lot of healing energy here this evening, and that's going to be lovely later on. Because so it is how we're prompted. It is, if I could just say to you, it's not a magic wand. It's a thought that comes into our mind. But that thought is placed in our mind through our guides and helpers. I know where you're coming from with that, Leslie. Yeah, laughter is a belly laugh. You know, they have workshops for belly laughs. And it is one of the most uncomfortable situations to be in, to start laughing at nothing. And then when you start, you don't know when to stop. Now, I haven't done one, but a friend of mine did one a few years ago, and she was telling us the story, and so she did the exercise with us, and similar to what they did in their first exercise on the workshop. And it seemed very artificial, because we ignite that laughter within us over something that's happening around us. And then as the crack, as Leslie says, and the CRA I say, not the other, that the fun and the laughter end of life, when that happens, when you start, you can actually train yourself to get in past the block that's there. So it's possible to work with it in that strange way. Sometimes, hello, we have new people on. Hello, Grassa. I always be worried about how I pronounce your names, so just forgive me. I'm asking for forgiveness before I start. Candelora, Amy, and Carmela, you're all very welcome. And this evening we're talking about healing, and we are so in tune with healing. But what I always ask is just be aware of the healing for yourself. Because we're tuned into the healing, means that a lot of the time when we see something happening, a friend or member of family, we empathize with them. But empathy is okay. It's when we draw in that other aspect, which is the sympathy, where we begin to feel that we are pulled in with that energy. That's when it's not okay on you. So looking at how do you work with that healing? How do you help yourself? Probably you have your own way of working. You know, everyone has a different way of releasing that energy. For me, the two things that would release that energy for me would be the sea, to walk by the sea. The other would be to just be out in the wilderness. That helps me to just clear my mind. Different people has different ways. For some, you may go out to the garden and start walking in the garden. There is no better place, but I'm not a gardener, so for me it would probably, I won't say it would cause stress, it wouldn't, but for me it would be much easier for me to go walking out to the mountains or down by the shore. That's where I would get that soul feed. That's one way of looking at it, but it's important just to explore what it is that helps you, and not wait until you're in a chronic stage where you need. We have so much energy within our system to work. I just want to pause this. We have so much energy to work with that we can do it. We can do it at any time of day. Yeah, to walk in nature, and especially if you can get your shoes off, fabulous, because you can feel the energy. The title of your session is So Comfortable. Mariella, yeah, thank you. It is the soul's journey. My belief is everything that's happening to you is your soul's journey. It's something that you're able to. Oh, I just want to have that it's ready. When it comes to actually being aware of your ability to heal yourself, now it's easier to actually go to someone and clear the channel for you. That's something that's when you want to go deeper into healing. The energy that a healer can work with is being a channel, so that they're able to clear the energy that's more or less blocked at times by events that's happening to us. It's so hard to be able to look about everything that's going on in our lives and then to think of, I want healing. It's so hard at that particular time, and this is why I recommend that you keep with it all the time. I don't see any problem with, if you were sick, we'll say, you'd go to the doctor, and then you'd look about yourself to make sure you kept well, and it wouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't think of it that way. You'd think of, I want to keep well. I'm not going to go out and walk in the pouring rain, freezing cold day and expect to keep well. Hi Sheila, you're very welcome. See, so if we stop and think for what we need to do for ourselves, this energy in here, I always feel tells us a lot. That and our solar plexus, which is just below your rib cage, they are great monitors to tell you how you're feeling. And you know the term, the gut feeling. That tells you that something is right for you or something is not. We would have, in a spiritual connection, I feel well in serenity and peace. Isn't that lovely, Mariella? Absolutely lovely, because, yeah, it's taking responsibility. Helen says, I was surrounded by trees and the shrubs at Oxbury Gardens near Southampton, is it? Not sure, but I think it's Southampton. It was wonderful. Yeah. Trees, you see, come back to the trees and come back to me. The energy, hug the trees. You know, the trees work so much for us, and just that energy that you can get by sitting at the trunk of the tree, that is something that you can't buy it. Hi Sabrina, you can't buy that, because that's an energy. And I always say, like, the trees have put up with so much abuse from every aspect, you know, our pollution, our storms and everything, and they've survived to actually be part of our everyday life. So it's so lovely. And you know, the trees that shed their leaves, that gives that nurtures the ground around. It's a cycle that keeps going on and on and on. So yes, I would, even though I'm living in the middle of an estate now, but for me, I have mountains beside me, and that's where I am. Even looking at the mountains is energy. It gives me energy. But to come back to formal types of healing, if you decide that there's something you want to do about healing in yourself, hand that out to your guides. Hand that thought out to your guides. And when you do, listen. And I mean listen, you can be feeling, knowing, and being aware of what they're telling you. Because they will work with you. They will work in a way that you will be influenced. Have you ever thought about going somewhere and said, okay, plan to go, and then all of a sudden something crops up that says, it's not, you know, I need to do something else. Afterwards you'll know that it wasn't right to go at that time. So work with your guides and your team of helpers. The healing guides are always with us. They're always there. They're guides that blends in really, really well, and they don't need constant awareness of them. Just be aware that they're there. It's a lovely, lovely journey when you realise that you're not on your own. That is one of the greatest gifts that your spirit has made you aware of. And just if there's any questions, just drop them on the window below. Hello, Joanna, Samantha, Anna, Stella. You're very welcome, and Paul. Part of this journey that we go through, have you ever felt that when you came through a particular situation, let's be straight about it, probably a challenging situation, that afterwards you become aware of what was challenged in you and how did you deal with that challenge? Did you find it that it was easy to work with? If you did, you more than likely found that there was healing. Understanding something is a great healer. When you deny something or deny a feeling you have, the healing can't take place because we haven't opened up our hearts and our minds to it. So the healing is only at a superficial level. So opening up your heart and your mind to healing is the main key. And it's not sitting and saying, right, I have to do this. It's a feeling that's here. That you surrender to the power of your spirit. And when you do that, all the healing can take place then. And it's not, most of the time, it's not what you expect in the healing. You know, we have sacred sites, we have grottos, we have a lot of places where people go with a specific healing request. And it is, you know, in so many cases, they are profound requests. And in many cases, what happens is you don't get the answer to what the quest was, but you get something else that's more important. Our lives are, they're laid out. That's my mind. That's my opinion. That our lives, we have our lives laid out for us by our team. Now, this is personal to me. That doesn't. I'm not saying that this is how it is for you. It's up to yourself what you believe. But I believe our team has a path laid out for us. We come to meet people. We come to meet situations that gives us the opportunity to learn, gives us the opportunity to grow in strength and power of our spirit. And it is through that window that we become more spiritual. And that's the healing power that's there. So when you find yourself in that situation, look back and see, what is it? What is it that actually is, am I feeling? What am I blocking? Because every feeling has an origin. And, you know, it's the easiest thing in the world to actually block. I'll put my two hands up and say, yes, I'm one of the blockers. It's stopping you from becoming aware of the source when we block, and the feeling is there, and we don't want to face the origin of it. Because it's probably to do with fear. It's probably to do with a lot of things that we don't really know the answer to. But once we open up and accept and surrender that we're being guided by a team, that love is just something it can't be described, because they're here to help us, they're here to guide us. And if we do that, the very beautiful, how would I put it? It's like a fanfare that sounds. And you would have heard me saying about wisdom doesn't come with knowledge. But sometimes knowledge can be the key to wisdom. So it all comes in together. And when you find out what it is that's blocking you, then that's the knowledge, and then the wisdom comes of, okay, accepting and becoming aware. Helena, how are you? Lovely that you got here. Yeah, I believe there's some problem, all right, in like last week, the problems was dire last week. It kept dropping, so we're doing well tonight. Fingers crossed. Leslie, yeah. The outcome can be more spiritual because you broke down the barriers, and you're, as I say, you're on the journey of knowing more about you. Yeah, spiritual guides and earth angels. Angels doesn't automatically have to have the angelic wings. I remember being at a lecture years ago, and it was quite funny because the man that was giving the lecture, he was quite a character, someone who was able to tune into people very, very easily. But I always remember him talking about the angels, and he said, just imagine the Archangel Michael trying to get in the door with the big wings. You know, and it was really putting, just making you think, angels doesn't always have to have wings. We have many, many angels comes into our lives, and they're there sometimes just to say a word, sometimes just to be there by your side at times when you're struggling. And it is a difficult time when they're there to help. Hello, Paulo. No way. Romina, how are you? Yeah, so what we'll do now is we're going to look at the meditation. And the meditation is about healing. And it's about Mother Nature. That I do know. After that, I don't know. We will just let it flow and see how it goes. And for each and every one of you, you'll have a different experience. And that is lovely. Because what I'm going to do is a little bit different to what I do in other meditations. And you can feed back to me for anyone that has been here a number of times, which you like best. If you like the continually guided meditation, or if you like the way we're going to do it this evening, I'm just going to let you be in a place and let you feel for yourself. And afterwards, when the meditation is over, is to write down the experiences that you had. Now, you don't have to go into a lot of detail, but sometimes as time passes, we forget the detail that counts. And within that, within the meditation, what we need to do in the beginning of it is put in our own intentions, because that is where the power will start. Put in your own intentions, then put in the intentions of whatever it is that's outside of yourself, of the grand design. And especially then when there's a particular request for healing for the greater good of whoever, like Sylvia's request there for her 4 children. To just put in that request, and all we can ever do when it comes to looking for healing for anyone else apart from ourselves is that it's for their greater good, because that's their journey they're on, whatever the outcome is. Very, very difficult when you're a mother or father, for that matter. I'm not excluding, but it was just Sylvia asked. So just let us take that time just to and when I say the second part is about anything outside of ourselves, it can be about work, it can be about situations where environmental, whatever it is. So it's about you first. It's about situations that you're in or outside of, that's going on outside of you. And then take in, because what we're doing is we're actually going from, I'm doing it here on the table, we're actually going in, we'll say, a loop. That we're starting with us and we can make it elliptical, we can make it circle, it's whatever way we feel. Okay? Are you all ready and sitting nice and comfortably? No. Mariella says we can pray God, spiritual guides and angels of healing to have a positive life and live in harmony with divine and universe. I'm not going to press too hard on the rest of your message because it just cut off there, Mariella. Okay, so just now sit in a nice straight back position, nice and comfortable. And now just breathe deep into the pit of your stomach. And as you exhale, just allow any stress that you're feeling to leave with the outward breath. Releasing and relaxing. Releasing and relaxing. And now you're going to remain in the place you are, and you're going to visualize a circle of light in front of you. And you're going to explore the journey through that circle of light. But first you're going to put in the intentions. Firstly, the intention for yourself. The intention for that surrounds you. And now for the greater good of those who you would like to send healing to. And now just step into that circle of light. Just you're stepping inside the edge. And visualize yourself being surrounded by the beautiful poppies, the colour red. Just allow yourself to breathe in that red and to look at the beauty of the field of poppies around you. And just spend some time being aware of how you feel. And be aware of any images that comes into your awareness. And now we're going to take another few steps. As we're going to work through the center slowly of the circle of light. As we walk into a field of the beautiful calendula orange flowers. That beautiful, strong, zesty flower where it stimulates the colour around you. So spend the next few minutes just being aware of being encircled with the colour orange and the beautiful flowers. Just keep in mind any images, any feelings that come into your awareness as you are absorbing the beautiful orange colour. And we're going to move up now another few steps into that circle. And we're going to find ourselves surrounded by the beautiful yellow colour daffodils. Colour of new beginnings. So as you breathe in, just be aware of that power. Be aware of the beauty. going to take another few steps. We find ourselves in the center of the circle of light. And as we step into the center, we become aware of being in the center of the beautiful pink roses. You're surrounded by that pink, and you feel the ease and the calmness. So just breathe in the color pink and be aware of how you feel and aware of any images that you're seeing or feeling. Open up your heart and your mind to the power of love. And allow that power to come into every cell in your body. And allow the healing to take place. To move up and further into that circle of light, and we have beautiful bluebells all around us. Breathe in that blue and just be aware of how you're feeling. Blue is also a powerful healer. Just be in this moment. Take another few steps and we'll find ourselves surrounded with the beautiful indigo color. And your center of the beautiful flower of baptisia, that beautiful deep indigo color. Allow yourself to breathe that in. move up now to the upper circle, rim of the circle, and we find ourselves surrounded by the beautiful violet colour, that beautiful spiritual dimension. Just allow yourself to be aware of all that is going on around you. So now as you breathe in, you're breathing in all the colours, which saturates you and surrounds you with the colour of pure light. Just allow that to let you see what it is in your being that is needing healing. And just being aware that you are a very special, unique spirit. A spirit that is full of love, that is full of wisdom, and within all of that, you are a very special human being, and to accept who you are and feel the blessings of your own spirit. Now let's just come back gradually back into awareness of where you're sitting, into awareness of your body by just wriggling your toes and fingers. So I would just say to you to stay in that calm. I'm not helping by putting the volume up, am I? To stay in that place if you can. And I'd like to welcome everyone that joined us there later in the meditation. Just value the precious spirit that you are. And when you value that, that will allow the love to grow within. And when you allow the love to grow within you, you will find that the people that you're going to come in contact with will help that love to grow. And avoid the people that doesn't help that love to grow. That's my simple advice. I'll just, in case last week we were cut off a little bit early, just in case, I'll next week the talk is on the power of meditation and how the different types of meditation has the different ways that suits people. So, you know, it doesn't always suit people the way what I've done. But if you like to, this meditation was more about allowing you to go whatever direction within each section there without being talked through each part. So if you just let me know if you're with me the last well, if you've been with me over the months, let me know which you prefer, and then, you know, I'll take it from there. Anything? Oh, I'm at the top of the hour now. Thank you very much for being with me this evening, and I wish you a very good night, a lovely weekend, and thank you all for joining me this evening. Bless you all.